Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dance with skates aflash, the home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name, and the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Hockey players face off down the rink, and the Stanley Cup is all filled up for the champs who win the drink. Now the final flick of the hockey stick and the one gigantic scream. The puck is in the
Blues win!
Hockey game. Oh, the hockey game is the best game you can name, and the
BlueNote Hockey Fan Report. Oh my goodness, am I not in there? Wow. Too excited, too thrown up, too ready to go. Oh my goodness, it is Elimination. Elimination Thursday. That's right, 4 teams could get eliminated today. Right now, both of those teams that could be eliminated, or both of those teams that could be eliminated are staving it off, as both the home teams are leading 1-0 in the second period. Oh my goodness, am I excited. If you'll notice, we do not have Miss Ashley with us today, and for very, very good reason. Actually, okay, Boston's up 2-0. Thank you for helping me out there. Ashley got tickets to tonight's game, to the person that was able to help her out. Thank you so much. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you watch this show, I am very, very, very excited. I'm just, it is what it is. And I read a stat today that just jumped out to me. And I mean, it jumped out in a way. I've had stats jump out at me before, but this one just jumped out at me and said, it's fate. St. Louis Blues in their history have been in a game 6 14 times when they've been ahead 3-2. In those 14 games, they are 12-2. They've won, I think, all 14, if not all 14, 13 of those series. If that does not bode well for you, I don't know what does. Because right now, I mean, look, Minnesota's a great team. Minnesota could very easily beat the Blues. Absolutely, very easily beat the Blues. They could force Game 7. I believe that. I just don't think it's going to happen. Let's get some Ian says he'll be a little late for pregame. Hopefully be on in like 30 minutes. Well, we can't wait for you, bud. Tammy's nerves are already shot. Mine aren't. Mine are good to go. Time to top the first one. Anyone's game, but with Talbot in, I think that we have a 60% chance. What do you think? Actually, I think it's higher than that. I think it's actually closer to an 80% chance. We've owned Talbot this season. We've absolutely owned him. Please let this be the wrap up. This will be very interesting since Fleury is out and Talbot is in. Yes, they are starting Talbot. Hey, Lance to Scott from the drop. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, come on, it's a good intro, right?
Yeah.
Right? You know what that draws back to? Come on, you're as old as I am. You know where that draws back to.
You talking about Let's Get Ready to Rumble?
Nope. Even older than that.
I don't know.
Hey, Fat Albert!
Oh, there you go. There you go. Hey, Fat Albert. Yeah.
Hey,
Nah.
Lance the Scott from the drum.
Nah. Gonna have a good time.
Yep. Hey, what do you think about this? Them starting Talbot over Fleury?
I don't think they have anything to lose. I think that they figure they don't think he can do any worse than Fleury's doing. They're trying to spark their team. I mean, they made the one thing by when they took out Goligoski for this game and brought in Kulikov, but that's not a major move. And a lot of people in Minnesota are saying that's the only move that Evason's going to make. I have a feeling, especially if this game, let's say, gets out of hand or the Blues go up 1-0, he's going to start shifting those lines around because I don't think he has any other choice but to do that.
Right. Here's the thing. I know, and I get this, man, and I get this. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. I'm really not. All along, we thought this was going 6 or 7. All along, right? We never thought that this was going to be a 4-game sweep or a 5-gamer. These two teams were very evenly matched. However, history matters. And I know you have said time and time again, you have told me what you do in the regular season doesn't matter in the playoffs. I'll tell you what, these playoffs, regular season matters because it's folding out that way. With the exception of the Colorado series, and that was just some really, you take out, you go down to your third string goalie in the playoffs against the number 1 seed, you're not going to win that series. No, but every other series is played out exactly like everyone thought it would. You know, these are all of them are 6-game series.
Well, I the one thing that I don't think people would really thought was going to happen, because we all talked about how important their power play was going to be and how the penalty kill was bad. In the last 2 games, the Blues 5-on-5 have scored 6 goals. So it's their 5-on-5 group that's been getting it done. And
that's what had to improve because they were already good enough on the power play.
Yeah.
They were already good enough on the power play. They were already good enough on the penalty kill. And look, I'm not upset. Look, you can be upset they gave up the 2 power play goals. I'm not.
No.
I'm really not. But at that point, once they gave up the 2 power play goals, what'd they do? They shut it down. They didn't have another power play the rest of the game.
I want you to listen to this guy. Here's Talbot's last 6 starts against the Blues.
Yeah.
Actually 5. 4.03 goals allowed, 4.18 goals allowed, 4 goals allowed, 9 goals allowed, 3.91. His lifetime against the Blues, when he was with the Rangers, Edmonton, and now Minnesota, he's got a 5.93 goals against and an 800 save percentage. I keep seeing all these people, not all of them, but a lot of them online saying, oh, they should have started Talbot sooner. He's great against the Blues. What part of this, and I know goals against and save percentage aren't the be all end all, but we've watched Talbot against the Blues and he's made some really stupid mistakes.
Yeah, no, he has never been good against the Blues. Well, since he's gone to the Wild, he hasn't been good against the Blues. Right? Who did he start for before the Wild? Who was he on before?
Well, listen to this. He's had about 20 games against the Blues, I think. And his first game with the Rangers was 2.77, which isn't bad. 2.03, 4 goals against, 4 goals against, 1 goal against, 1.91, 4 goals against, 15.82 goals against. So he was up and down even with Edmonton against the Blues. He had some really good games, and then he had some really potty mouth games too.
Yeah, I to me, this speaks of desperation, right? That's what it feels like. It feels like it's a little bit of desperation. And if that's where you got to go, that's where you got to go. Okay, got it. You know, all there is, all it has to be, that's what they've got to do. I'm not sure who this Facebook user is or how they're watching me. Hopefully they're listening. I like that they're listening to my pregame. Thank you so much. They need to get someone on the thrill. You know, let him do his thing because nobody else did. Right? As long as you play better than that, you know, our Russian played better than their Russian. Right? Our Russian played better than their Russian. And that, I mean, when it gets down to it, that was what was important when you needed it.
Yeah.
Right?
And you know, a lot of people, yeah, do they pay attention to Krill, to Kaprizov? Yeah, they do. But the type of team the Blues are, they're going to play that same game against anybody that they play. Yeah, they're going to watch him, but it's not like they're going to go, oh, we have to stop Krill or we're not going to win. That's not how the Blues are playing the series. Otherwise, I think they'd be down in the series if they took that attitude.
Yeah, no, you know, let Krill do what Krill does. Stop everybody else. You know, the Michael Jordan system of defense. Jordan's going to get his 50. You know, that's not going to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Jordan's going to get 40 points. Okay, let him get his 40 points. As long as you stop everyone else from getting points, you're going to win the game. Right? Krill's going to get a point or two a game. Get more than Krill and you're going to win the game because no one else is getting in there. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's what's important. I got something to show you here. I'm trying to bring it up. Doing 9-9. My producer's at the game tonight, so I have to do everything myself tonight. Right? You know, when you really need a producer and your producer goes to the game, not much you can do.
No, not really.
But here you go. This is how Wild fans are viewing tonight's game.
Boy, I'm really at a loss for words here.
Forget it. I quit. I can't do this anymore, man. My head's about to explode. My whole life sucks. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. My dad just died. We just killed Bambi. I'm out here getting my ass kicked, and every time I drive down the road, I want to jerk the wheel into a goddamn bridge in Buntman.
Boy, I'm really at a loss for words here.
Forget
Somebody sent me that, and I just had to. I just had to, man. It was plain and set. In guy's defense, he's left unsupervised. Isn't it great how much Shockey loves me?
That's awesome.
So I went to my doctor's office today for a checkup, and my nurse practitioner said, I seen your heart rate's up. I said that it can't be right. My heart rate is only up when I'm watching Blues games, and even worse since we are in the playoffs. She said, yeah, right, no joking, that really happened. Oh, man, I'm not sure who this Facebook user is. Hey, Facebook, whoever you are, how are you watching me? Are you watching me in the Blues Fan Clan or on the BlueNote Fan Report? Let me know. That might be real helpful for me right now. Or are you watching me on my page? Because you may need to click on something so I can see your name. But I need to know which way you're watching me so I can help you out there. Well, I didn't even look at the stats on this game because I don't think stats matter. Right? Well, we were talking goalie situation. For me, the Blues made the right decision, and it took too long to make it, right? I'm sorry. I would have made that decision in Game 3 after the second goal.
I'm going to make that decision before the series even starts. I'm starting Bennington over Huso.
I don't know. At that point, I don't know how good that decision is, right? And hear me out, okay? I understand where you're going. I absolutely do. I get where you're going, but hear me out. Up to this point, if you start Bennington, he doesn't have that that swagger, that feeling of, man, this is do or die, right? Because now you can bring in Huso if he does. Because you start Huso, he gets you that shutout, and it raises everybody's expectations. The next two games, I think I actually think that the situation has helped Bennington play better than he would have if he started in game number 1. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I don't agree, but it does make sense. Your thought process it makes a lot of sense to me. I just think that when it
Holy
comes back,
shit. Lance just said my thought process makes sense to him. We're in trouble. He usually tells me my thought process is out to lunch.
I just think that when you've got a goalie, especially in his last 8 to 10 games in the season, with Stanley Cup final experience, Stanley Cup winning experience, I don't care where he's played the other 28 or 30 some odd 40 games he's played in. It shows me he's getting himself right and he's ready. It's like you and I talked about. I think Berube was in a no win, no lose situation. So either if he'd have went with Husso, he could lose or win big. If he'd have went with Bennington, he could have lost or went big. And I don't have any problem with starting Husso. I honestly think.
I actually think I think there's I think you're close on that. I think with Husso, he could have won or lost big.
Oh yeah.
I don't think with Bennington he could have won big. I think he could have lost big with Bennington. If he goes with Bennington and Bennington is the Bennington of the season of the early season, the post-COVID Bennington, then yeah, it's a huge loss. In fact, I think his job would have been on the line.
Well, I
think
think
even with just signing that extension, so I think he could have won huge with Bennington. Or no, pardon me. He could have lost huge with Bennington. I don't think he could ever win huge with Bennington if he started Bennington first. I think he wins huge with Bennington now because he started Husso and Husso faltered. That's the difference here. Right? Yeah, I don't think that you could have. I think if Bennington comes out and does Bennington things, everyone, okay, Bennington does Bennington things. It's the fact that he does it after Husso falters that brings it to a next level to me.
I don't know, because I think we all know we've seen people really hate on Bennington for all year long. Yeah. I think if he'd have went with Bennington, and I'm me, I'm not one of these people go, well, if Bennington would have been a goal in the first game, they'd allowed 5 goals. I don't know that. I just don't. But the second game, a couple of those goals, I know Bennington would have been in the right position for them and taken the right angle to the puck and come out when he was supposed to and not, fall back into the goal. I mean, like he did, like Husso did on that Creel goal. He stayed forward on it instead of coming back to the post. I don't think Bennington makes those mistakes. Whether the Blues would have went up 1 game to, would have went up 2 games to none in the series, I don't know. It's possible Bennington comes in. I always look at who's got the playoff experience and who's played hotter. And in the last 5 games of the season, Jordan Bennington was a lot better than Ville Husso was. Now, if the playoffs would have started at the 1st of March, I'd have probably said start Husso. But since Bennington had been showing flashes of his former self, because that experience, that means a lot to a coach. And I wasn't shocked that he went with Husso. But, I like you said, I think that there's good things and bad things about it. But Bennington's playing well now. And one thing I don't want to see, let's say the Blues don't play well in front of Bennington. Lord help us. But let's say they don't play well in front of Bennington and the Blues lose 4-3. Are we going to hear all this crap about start Husso in the 7th game? Because I wouldn't. I don't want that to happen.
No, you're not start. You do not start Husso in Game 7. That is a huge mistake. You know what? Who are you? Tell me your name, because we talked about that so much. So much.
Well, is it possible their first name is Face and their middle name is Book and their last name is User?
No, their first name would be Facebook and their last name would be User, but because we've talked about this. I talked to, you know what? If you want to know why Minnesota lost Game 3 or Game 4, right? Looks like Tampa just got another goal, so they're up 2-0. So the 2 teams that are facing elimination are up 2-0. That doesn't bode well for the Blues. However, we'll see. I don't know yet. Ian Purnell, hello, my friend. Hello. That third goal the first goal, Tarasenko's first goal, that was because Marc-Andre Fleury no longer goes behind the net. He very rarely plays the net, especially if there are guys within the zone, right? As soon as guys get in the zone, he retreats. Marc-Andre Fleury goes back and plays that puck. That goal never happens. This game, who knows what happens in this game? That goal right there is because Fleury doesn't play the puck. Husso made mistake after mistake every time he left the net. He left himself up, and I read something today. I seen something today, and I had to do it. Someone had made a statement, and I know the person. I don't think the person watches the show. I sent him an invite, but they had said that, oh, Bennington worries me because he's never in position and he flops around too much. At this point, that's one of those surface comments, right? That's a surface comment. No, Bennington's not out of position as much as you think he is, because Bennington's not a technical goalie. He needs to flow by the seat of his pants. And he does not flip-flop around anywhere near as much as Husso does. And Husso does it on a shot from the blue line. Oh, it's from the blue line. I better jump around, flip-flop around. That is the thing with Husso that I have noticed all season long. It doesn't matter where the shot's from. He's never comfortable with the shot. Never comfortable. He's always flip-flopping around. I honestly don't think that it is, flip-flopping is not Bennington's problem. Right? Do you think he's out of position way more than everybody else does?
No, Bennington at times he's been out of position when he's lost his confidence this year, but since he's been playing better and the last 2 years in the regular season, thank you, Facebook user. I appreciate that very much. He's not a flopper. He's normally in control. He does fly by the seat of his pants a lot, but he is good technically, and he does have good angles on the puck, and that does help him. The thing I don't like about Husso is he goes down way too much. He goes down way too much, and he leaves that edge of the goal open too far, or he doesn't come out far enough, and those guys can see that other corner of the net, and they score on him in the corners. That's my complaint with him. He gets down too much, and sometimes it looks like he has a hard time getting back up.
Yeah, that could be it too. I'm trying to figure out who this Facebook user is, which one they're commenting on, and I can't find them. I'm looking, trying to find them. No, I think that Bennington, I've been told by a couple of goalie coaches that Bennington is not technically sound. However,
I'll disagree with that.
Well, they say that technically there are a lot more goalies are better technically than he is. However, when you try to make him technical is when he gets away from that free-flowingness that he has, because he gets in his head and he thinks about it too much. And that might be where the mistakes happened. Austin Matthews just made it 2-1. God, that guy. You know what? I'd trade the farm for Austin Matthews. I would take 2 years of missing the playoffs if we could get Austin Matthews and build around him. I absolutely would.
I wouldn't.
I'm sorry. I think that kid is got the ceiling is that there's no ceiling on him. Right? He has a way with being around the net and finding the net and finding those open holes that nobody else can. He's just, for me, he's just that guy. Okay. Oh, it's Sammy Helms. Okay, I found it. Sammy Helms. Hey, Sammy. You're watching it. If you look on that post, it might say see more. If you click on that, but it'll say I'm going live using StreamYard. Please click here. I think you've done it before. If you click there, then I'll be able to see your name, bud. So it'll be a little easier for me. Right? Okay, where are we at on comments? Guy Husso has to get experience at some point. Those 3 games will make Husso a better goalie down the road. I hope so. The problem is it's not going to be for the Blues, I don't think.
And unless the Blues don't have confidence in Hoffer or Ellis to come up next year, which they're very confident in Hoffer. They don't see him playing more than 20 games in a season as a backup right now. So I think you could put in Bennington for 42 games and then put Hoffer in for 20 games, and Hoffer would probably go 13-7 or 14-6 and have a below 2.
I'd like him to be closer. I'd like Hoffer to be closer to 30 games.
I don't think the Blues will do that. Not the first year, but they might. The only way Husso's coming back is if for some strange reason they get offered so much for Hofer in a trade, and I don't think the Blues want to do that. It's hard to find good young goalies, and the thing about it is that, Husso, even if he has played his last game in the playoffs and his last game as a Blue this season, he's going to get offers of 3.5 to 4.5 a year. And the Blues cannot pay him that. They cannot. With Thomas's contract coming due in a little bit, O'Reilly's coming due. If they want to try and keep Tarasenko and they don't trade him, he's coming due. They cannot keep Ville Husso on this team.
I don't mind, Matthew. Oh, by the way, Kevin, I showed that thing you sent me earlier. One injury can't ruin Matthews. One injury can't. One injury can ruin a lot of players.
Can ruin anybody.
I'm ready for it. We're all going to. I'm trying to catch up. What about Charlie Sideburns? Okay. He was a flash in the pan. I mean, the 5 games were great, but it doesn't carry over, guys. I mean, he's had a good season down in the minors. You know what? Now, if he can turn that into a Calder Cup, he'll get looked at somewhere. But I don't think he's an NHL goalie. I think he's an AHL goalie, to be honest.
Yeah, he is, and he had spurts with Montreal. He didn't play a lot of games in Montreal, but he had spurts with him where he looked pretty good. And do you think Montreal, if he was that good, they wouldn't have kept him to put behind Price and eventually take over for him? Teams know who he is because Guy and I discussed it a couple shows ago. If he was that good, when New Jersey came calling, they would have taken Ellis. At least in my mind.
Well, look what Jersey got. Gillis.
Yeah. Yep. You frozen, Guy?
Jersey got Gillis. Tell me it's coming back. Here we go. Right?
Yep.
Be honest. When New Jersey got Gillis, tell me that Lindgren wasn't available, right? I don't know why they took Gillis. I don't know why they didn't ask. I mean, Gillis future considerations is probably a couple $100,000. That's the only thing I can think of.
They didn't.
Right?
They did not want Lindgren. They didn't want him. The Blues offered them either one, and they didn't take him. So, and when you look at it, Gillis, he's one of those fringe goalies too. So, there's a reason why they picked Gillis over Lindgren. Lindgren is not if you want to have Lindgren on your team, on your AHL team, and bring him up for 4 to 6 games a year when you need him to, that's great. He's not a backup in the NHL. He is an AHL goalie.
No, I'm with you on that. I don't feel like he's no, I'm with you on that. I'm not. Look, Lindgren did great for 5 games, right? If Lindgren was that good, and this is my thing, when Bennington was going through his struggles, right? How easy would it have been the Blues to say he has an upper body injury, put him on IR, and bring in Lindgren? Mm-hmm. Right? Not right in the head, not got your game. That's an upper body injury.
Yeah.
Right?
And you know what? He was
terrible.
Yeah, he was terrible in New Jersey. I think he played I think he started like 15 games and played in 20 something or 18, something like that. He won 3 games out of starting 15.
Gillis did.
Yeah, and he had around an 890 save percentage and a goals against of 3.8 or 3.7. So he wasn't good in New Jersey. Now, granted, New Jersey's not a good team, but I watched him in 2 of those games, and he's really not truly an NHL goalie in my mind.
Well, Carter Hutton left to go to Buffalo. That's why Carter Hutton did terrible. Buffalo didn't have anything, and that's why Gillis might have done good, might have done bad there in New Jersey, because New Jersey. And that's the thing. A lot of these goalies, they do good here. St. Louis has been, other than the mid '90s, the '90s, right, a defensive styled team. They've never. You look. We don't have anybody other than Brett Hull in the top 100 in points in the NHL.
I thought you said Matthew scored to tie it up.
No, it was 2-1.
All right.
I might have said tie it up. I didn't mean he made it closer. So he made it 2-1. Boy, am I just having a day here with technical stuff. My TV just turned off on me, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, I'm trying to figure everything out. I'm just technically not having a good day.
Is it possible? Is it possible that the Hawaiians that run charter over there, that they see on your bill that you're a haole, and they think they're going to give you worse internet because you're a haole?
We have Spectrum, so I don't know.
I'm just teasing you because I used to get hell when I'd go over there. Oh, you know what, Lance? You're just a crazy haole.
Now, see, Lance, you mess with guys that I would never mess with, right?
Oh, I did.
You hung out with guys that I probably wouldn't hang out with, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean this in a bad way, but if they got tribal tattoos, I go the other turn.
They had tribal tattoos, and it's the ones that they have the tribal guy put on with pins and ink, not not those not the ones you get at a
yeah. You're staying up. You're up in Waianae.
I was up in Waianae, Nanakuli.
Yeah. No, yeah. Do you know what? The only time I go up there, I have I have people with me. That's not a safe place for.
Yeah.
And in fact, shit, I've lived here almost 20 years. So
yeah, I was told by the Hawaiian family, they said, bro, you're very lucky that you come and you're with us, bro. You would not want to come down here without us, bro.
Yeah, that's not a great position to be in unless you're.
You don't want to move there, guy? Come on, you got to move there to Waianae.
You know what, Tommy? It all depends, right? So the way the draft goes for the playoff teams, the teams that get knocked out in the first and second round draft via their positioning, right? Their regular season positioning. The teams that make it to the third round, the Western Conference Final, they go 1, 2, 3, 4. Stanley Cup winner, Stanley Cup loser, the highest are the. And I'm going from bottom to top, right?
The best pick the people in the conference finals are going to get is going to be 29, 30, or 31, 32. Those 4 picks.
Yeah,
that's what they'll get.
So the Blues really with their record, they're going to be picking somewhere in the late 20s, right? With their record, you think about this. They were a top 10 team, right? Overall, so
they mostly were 9 to 11. I think they're going to pick somewhere between 19 and 23 is what I'm estimating. If they don't go to the finals. No,
I think they wouldn't even get 19, bud.
Well, they're definitely not going to get 25 to 28 because they were much better than that. There were 2 teams. You had Colorado better than Minnesota. Ended up with more points than them. Yeah. Then you've got you've got the teams in the East that ended up with more points than them. They're definitely not picking.
They're 25 or later. I think it's 25 or actually 26 or later.
I don't think so because you've got I think they're going to be more like 23, 24. But we'll have to see. And I don't ever like I don't like the way they pick for the NHL lottery picks. I don't like that. I think it's a stack system, and most people can guess. The year Chicago got it after winning. The cup, was it the year before or the year? I can't remember, but they got a number 1 pick. They were in the lottery for the picks and they should have never been there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all depends. First of all, I think teams that trade away the lottery pick should be lottery protected automatically for at least 2 years.
Yeah. And
right?
guys,
make them wait for the pick.
Everybody's enamored guy with, he was a top 10 pick. He was a top 20 guys. There are more guys in the NHL in rounds 2 through 6 or 7 than there are in the NHL rounds 1. A lot of those guys in round 1 are bust. They never, ever, especially those guys that get the special exemption status that are supposed to be so great they can come to juniors when they're 15 years old. Those guys very rarely pan out. McDavid did it, a couple other guys, but there's been so many guys that get that excellent status or exemption status, and they just flop.
I'm trying to look up something here real quick. Yep. You got to give me a second.
Go ahead.
No, because I'm going to figure this out here real quick. So at the moment, the only team out of the Predators, and the Predators would have drafted below St. Louis no matter what, right? Where am I at? What is this? With the playoffs. That's why.
So basically, it reverses the worst teams start out from the worst, number 1 to number 16. And then the next 16 picks are going to go to those teams that made the playoffs but didn't.
Okay,
make
the Blues were 9th.
Yeah, it said
So
9th to 11th.
if you flip flop it, let me flip flop this real quick.
That's the 23rd pick. Or no, that would be 20. That'd be the 22nd pick, like I said.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So
29 minus 9, actually, that'd be the 20th.
24th, the 24th pick, right? If
Well,
right now,
so were the Blues all right? So if they get the 24th pick, the Blues weren't in the top 4 teams in the league.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, go backwards. Florida would get the 32nd pick.
No. That's not how it's done. It's the teams that make the Final Four that get 30.
Lance, stop. Lance, I understand. You got to stop for a second, okay? And listen to me. Don't you jump on me sometimes because and I don't mean this to be mean. If right now, if it didn't matter where they finished, okay? Right now, if the Panthers, Avalanche, Hurricanes, and Maple Leafs all made it to the finals, or to the Eastern to the third round, this is how it would pan out. Okay, the Panthers would get the bottom pick. The Stanley Cup is going to get the bottom pick. Then the Avalanche, the Stanley Cup loser, gets the 31st pick.
Mm-hmm.
The Hurricanes, and i.e. the Wild. I'll put the Wild up there, saying that they get to the. Well, they wouldn't even get there. It would have to be like the Flames. The Flames would get the 30th pick. If it didn't change, the Blues would get the 24th pick. Now, here's the thing. That could possibly drop down, or they could get a little better. It could get a little worse. It all depends. If the Blues make the third round, the best they could do would be the 29th pick. If they make the third round. If they don't make the third round, I think the best that they can do is the 22nd pick, depending on who makes it there.
Right now,
because the teams in the playoffs that are behind them, no matter what, that could jump them, are the Bruins, the Oilers, the Penguins, and the Capitals, and the Kings, and the Stars.
Right now, NHL Tankathon website has the Blues at 24th, Boston at 23rd, the Blues at 24th, Tampa at 25, the Rangers at 26, Minnesota at 27, Toronto at 28, Calgary, Carolina, and then Colorado and Florida. That's how they have it. The Blues are.
Yeah, well, that's going to change. It all depends on the playoffs. Somebody got a good argument out of us. I like it. And I hope you're not mad at me, bud.
No, I'm not. You know me, it takes a lot to get me mad at somebody.
Well, Ian can't join us, but he's here. So thank you, Ian. Where are we at, guys? Let me figure out where we're at on.
I would like to know if Ian can message us, because the other night I got on and sent the message that I thought Talbot would probably start, and I don't think he thought he would. Yeah. I wonder if he's shocked that Talbot's starting.
Okay, I read that one. I'm trying to screw it. I'll just go to the end. So we got Jason Nichols says, here we go. First lineup adjustments for Evanston tonight as well. It's he's talking. Here we go. He says, I think it's probably a good move. Talking about Talbot, I'm guessing. Shockey says, hate that with any draft is Tom Brady and most number ones in the NFL. You know, the draft is a
crapshoot.
Crapshoot. You know, they're going 7. They're going 7-11 again. Letty Parayko, Rosenfalk, Mikola Bortuzzo, and Prunovic. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a smart move right now, right? Because you don't have anybody else. Prunovic played the penalty kill or the power play well, right? Yes, sir. You look lost.
No, I agree with you. It's like I said the other night, 2 games ago, that the Blues are in very good hands with Mikola and Prunovic. That's going to be on their blue line for years to come. And then I really think they're going to be those players that could be here for 6, 7, 8, 9 years.
Right. Matt Lowe says Prunovic has been good. Mm-hmm. I have to check. Ian says they have to check. Tommy must ask him. But I'm asking, what position player would we select? Offense, defense, or goalie? You know what? That late in the draft, I think we would go defense. If they're that might be, at that point it's best player available. Though the Blues have made some reaches at that point.
Yeah, the Blues.
Neighbors was a reach.
Yeah, the Blues have made some reaches, and then they've watched some guys fall, like Kyrou. Kyrou was supposed to be in the lower 20s to mid 20s, and for some strange reason, he fell to
the second round.
The second round, yeah.
Right. So that late, I think it's best player available.
Yep.
But you look at Neighbors. Neighbors was an absolute reach. I mean, a lot of people had Neighbors pegged in the middle of the second round.
Some of them had him at the lower third.
And the Blues had a pick where they thought he would fall, where most draft pundits thought he would fall. Well, draft pundits and team pundits are two different things, but they made a reach. And actually, I don't think it's that bad of a reach. Neighbors could end up on the Blues next season. Could, right? I mean, if you got a first round pick, look at who was the other first round pick we had was Tage Thompson. Thompson took almost 3 years to come up. Costin still isn't up, right? He's up and down. So, where our picks are, you got to do with what you got to do. Is this Prunivich's chance to show his potential for next season? No, it's not actually.
I actually think he's on the team next year. He's got nothing left to prove in the AHL, and Mikkola will be full-time next year too. He's got nothing to prove anymore besides being in the NHL.
So God, I cannot say his name. Kirill
Kaprizov
ties both Pavel Bure and Denis Savard for most goals against the Blues in one playoff series. He could set that record. I hope he doesn't. Right? I really hope he doesn't. What amazed me when you think about it, you look at how many times the Blues were in the playoffs, right? 25 years in the playoffs, 25 straight years in the playoffs. And the guy that has the most playoff wins in Blues history is Bennington, right? With 18.
What does that show you? That shows you they've been through a lot of goalies.
Yeah, a lot of goalies. It really does, right? Army needs to cut bait on Costin. I'm with you. I think so too. I think it's time to cut bait on Costin. Andrew said, do you guys think either of us or Minna has a chance against Colorado? Absolutely, I do.
I think both teams do.
Yeah, I think both teams do. I think everybody's handing it to Colorado. Oh, Colorado, you're so great. Here you go. Oh, Colorado, you're so great. Here you go. You know what? They ran up against a team that actually should have done better against them, but was on their third string goalie.
And you know what? If you've watched it, I watched those games, and if Soros would have been in goal, and I honestly think they could have won a couple games because
they go to 6.
It goes definitely to 6 and maybe 7 because they were in a lot of those games.
Yeah,
they really were.
Right. And then the one game, the ref handed it to him by taking 2 goals away from.
That was crazy.
Yeah, took 2 goals away from took 1 goal away from Nashville, and then gave Colorado a goal they shouldn't have got. That's huge.
Yeah,
that's a huge thing.
I think Guy will agree with me, and I'm not trying to jinx this. If Minnesota comes back and wins this series, who do you think Guy and I are going to be cheering for in Colorado and Minnesota? It's going to be Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. But I don't think, tonight, normally I'm not very confident when we go into these games. Normally I'm not. Tonight I am, right? Tonight I look at first of all, I look at what Tarasenko did, and oh my goodness, I'm telling you that, you look at what Tarasenko did, and it didn't take much for him to just take that series over. And he didn't just take the game over, he took the series over.
Yeah, and he needs to be prepared for this game because I know somebody in the Minnesota locker room, and their big discussion is focusing on being physical with Tank. The thing about it is,
let him.
I told the guy because that's what I said. I said, let him. They're either going to get a penalty or they're going to get beat up because he's so big. And then Kairu's going to be left open. Thomas. So I said, all the other players will be left open. Yeah. And I said, you know what's going to happen too? I said, you guys are going to get hurt because he is a tank. He's built like a tank.
Yeah, he's like, so like the nickname he hates the most is the one that fits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's tall, but if you've seen him live, and I've seen him at practices. I'm a big guy. He's not as big as me or as tall as me, but he's built like a square box almost.
I'm as tall as he is. I'm as tall as he is. He's actually built like me.
Yeah.
He's built like me, and he's not real muscular,
but he's solid.
But he's compact. He's solid.
Very compact.
Very solid. Yes, absolutely. No problem whatsoever. In a heartbeat.
Yeah, but see, hey, you know what they're going to be doing in that room, Bob? They're going to be watching hockey.
And Yana can come along too. Tarasenko has really opened up and shown his leadership. Yes, we have talked about that. I've been on that. I've been on that since last season.
Yeah, I've seen a difference in him over these last 2 years. And people act like he was really ticked off about not getting the captaincy. He didn't like it, but he wasn't like mad about it or nothing. I think he's taken that as a challenge to say, hey, I am a leader and I'm going to show you. And like I said, I think it started last season.
No, Tommy, I am not ripped. Here's the problem with me, right? I would make if I could get back on skates and really get on skates, I would make probably a better defenseman than I would a forward because I have bigger legs. My legs are tree trunks. I was a runner. My legs, if I started walking again, I can't run like I used to, but if I start skating again, my legs are going to solid up in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah, but
they're going to solid up.
Can you skate backwards very well?
No. Can't skate backwards at all. That's the problem.
Guy, it's not that hard. I mean, if I was with you, I bet you I'd have you skating backwards and probably 20
I have been
minutes.
trying to skate backwards since I was a kid. I couldn't do it on roller
It's a fine balance. It's like when I learned it as a kid, you start it and you start moving your body and you're like, I'm skating backwards and I'm not skating too much. I'm not moving my skates. I'm skating backwards.
Yeah, no, see, my hips don't go side to side. They go front and back. And that's the problem. As a runner, my hips don't move this way. They move this way. And you need to go this way to skate better. And I just don't.
Oh,
right.
Small C shapes guy.
Oh my goodness, Ryan Green.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. I appreciate that image in my mind there, Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah, oh my goodness. You tell him, Shakira.
That's what Guy tells all the fans of the show. I've got hips like Shakira.
No, I wish I did. I don't. See, my hips don't go this way. My hips go forward and backward.
All right, guys.
They don't go. When my hips go like this, they lie.
This is the plus 14 show now.
When my hips go that way, they lie. They absolutely freaking lie. Here we go. O'Reilly centering Perron and Shin. Thomas centering Tarasenko and Bushnevich. Broke up the Russians. Barbashev with Kairu and Saad. I really like that line. Bozak and Torpachenko, who will probably double shift Tarasenko again, which I don't have an issue with. Tarasenko is ready for this. Talbot, 13-0-3 in his last 16 regular season starts, 241, 917, 2 shutouts. Hasn't played in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
hasn't played in 2 weeks.
And I want everybody to look at his playoff starts, his last 5 playoff starts, and then we'll talk about how well he's been in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I think for me, you know what? I say this, right? You got to stick with Flower.
I would if I wouldn't have changed it. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think the move is not a good one. Hey guys, this show is a radio show. A live radio show with video. So you're going to get different things, and we're going to have some fun. Oh, the Leafs are up now. Yes. That means we could have an elimination tonight. I love it. I like elimination games. Think about this. Every game between now and Sunday is an elimination game.
Mm-hmm.
Or now and Saturday. right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then you could have, Sunday. Yes, for the Saturday, Sunday. Every game between now and Sunday is an elimination game. 7 of the 8 series went 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
Not a freaking surprise at all. I had said I didn't think any of them would go less than 5.
No.
And unfortunately, the one did, but I was right on the other ones. All of them went 6, and they went a solid 6.
Yeah.
The only one that was possibly in question was the Rangers, and the Rangers just came back at home. I think they were at home. No, that was an away game. Game 6 is at home, they forced game 6. Yeah, game 6 is at home. I got to think about it for a second. It still shocks me that Bennington with the most wins, and to think that he could, get this up to in the high 20s.
Yeah.
That's just mind-boggling to me.
Well, you got to look at it. Our big goalies through the 80s, 90s, our big ones that played more years than just 1 or 2 were Joseph. Fuhr was here 3 years, which isn't long enough in the playoffs to get that record unless they went to the Stanley Cup. If the Blues would have won the Cup that year when the whole Detroit fiasco and Fuhr hadn't been hurt, he would probably have had the record over Liut because you've got Liut, Joseph, Fuhr was here 3 years. Jake Allen was here for a bunch of years, but the Blues never had a lot of playoff success when he was around. And they missed the playoffs a few years, I think, when he was here. So over the last 30, 40 years, the Blues haven't had a goaltender that's been around, for very long or been able to go deep in the playoffs.
No, Tommy, I'm not with you. I'm with Ryan on that. If Flower was, didn't want to be that guy that lost, and I don't think I think he's playing next year. I think he's going to find. First of all, here's the thing with Flower, and Flower was in a bad situation this year. If I was Flower, and I know that Chicago traded for him, I would have gone to Chicago and say, guys, look, I get it. I appreciate this, but is there any chance you can try and see if you can trade me to a contending team earlier? Right? And because it waited too long.
Yeah,
it waited way too long, and that's the problem with this trade. And not only that, I talked about this. Very, 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 very rarely do you trade for a starting goalie, a starting defenseman, a starting forward at the trade deadline, and win. It just doesn't happen. It's not. Look, these guys can move around teams left, right, and center, and they do it all the time. But the high-end ones. Still got about, the puck drop is 8:50, so they're actually not hitting the ice yet. There's still a long time to go before the game goes. The last I heard was 8:50 for puck drop, St. Louis time. So,
I heard 8:45, so we're all about the same one.
Yeah, so we still got a good 15, 20 minutes of showtime left. So we're not going anywhere, and you shouldn't either. Stay with us. Stay with the Blue Note Fan Report. If we score first, Minnesota shuts it down. They will quit. If we get 2 on them, they will. Right? I'm watching Bally Sports too, bud. And what you're seeing is more of a warm up. It's not for the game yet. Because it's not going. It's an a TSN game. They're not dropping a puck till 7:40. Or 8:40, 8:45, 8:50. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because the Blues may show the game starting at 7:30 Central, but that's not up to them. It's up to the TV, and the TV is starting it at 8:45.
Right? You still got all the pregame festivities and all that stuff to go, so we still got time, so stick with us. Exactly, the Blues never went in for the playoffs to give a goalie a chance to beat that record. Yeah, it never went far in the playoffs. Yeah, I get that. It just boggles the mind, though. I love St. Louis fans seeing them high-five many players on the runway. Bothered me. It didn't bother me. I think these guys are, they're NHL players. They're professional players, and I say this. People say that, well, you're a Blues show. Why would you want some? I don't care what NHL player you are. I want you on the show because you have insight that I'll never have. Right? And it's not just your time with the Blues. It's your there's a guy I know that played very little for the Blues, played mainly for the Capitals, but decided that he didn't want to come on the show. And I've tried to convince him that, hey man, this is different. This is, it's not, I want your experience. I want all of that from you. So, I'll tell you what, if for some chance,
For some reason I'm muted and I don't know why.
No, we can hear you. We hear you, Lance. Lance.
Yeah, I'm muted. I'm muted. I don't know why.
Okay, but we're hearing you. Someone type in the chats that we can hear Lance. I'm with you, Tammy. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Right. This is a do or die for Minnesota. They're going to give it everything they got, especially the first 5 to 10 minutes of the first out. Ryan, I absolutely agree with that, bud. Wait till he comes back. Yeah, he said he was muted, so he wasn't hearing me. So I'm not there. Well, he can read your comments. Better?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we could hear you before.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
You weren't muted. We could hear you.
Oh.
Maybe you weren't hearing us.
I couldn't hear you at all.
Yeah, but we could hear you. So
that's strange.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to get. I was trying to get at you. That's why I was tapping my ears. I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. So that's what that was. The first 5 to 10 minutes of this is going to be the important part of the game. Weather the storm, or I say this: don't weather the storm. Take the storm to them. Right? I say you come out in that first 10 minutes and you just take it to them and remove all doubt. You know that old saying, it's better to let people think that you're an idiot than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. It kind of goes to tonight's game.
Yeah.
Let them know, take it, remove all doubt that this is your game. They think right away that they're going to come after you. Remove all doubt. Move all doubt that they're going to win this game. You get out there and you don't have to. And when I say hit them hard, I don't mean go after the hits, but be on the puck. Be on that puck. Be part of that puck. If you can get on that puck, then you can take it to them. You can remove all doubt, and that's what I think the Blues need to do. I think Vladdy removed all doubt in the last game.
Yep.
Right. I truly do. I think he removed all doubt in the last game, and I thought that game, the Sod goal, the Sod father, is the goal that changed that.
Yeah, that fluke goal.
Yeah, well, I mean, it hit something. I don't know if it hit his stick.
Yeah.
I saw something where I thought maybe it hit his stick, but it hit him and goes in. And to me, that they just showed Kaprizov's second goal, and I'm telling you, I think Bennington, that's all on Bennington. I think he gave way to because it's inside. It's inside. It's you should never leave that available, right? He should have been hugging that play. He should have been more on. He gave too much of the inside. I mean, he gets you on the outside, okay, that's where you're getting a bounce and you can't get it. But if he finds a hole on the inside, that's on you. I know everyone says it wasn't, but to me, that's on you, right? And the more I look at it, the more I think. Bennington gets a start, Shen the left wing on the O'Reilly line, Thomas and Kyrou reunited. Okay, good moves. That was in game 4. Do it again. Well, actually, they split Thomas and Kyrou up in this one. Minnesota's coach said Sod's goal was the difference maker. I said that in the second intermission. I absolutely said that in the second intermission. You could see it from Sod's goal to about a minute left in the second. They had nothing, and they found a little bit in the second, and then as soon as they come out in the third, Tarasenko just says, "Not here, not today. No. Don't bring that weak stuff in here." Kembe Mutombo. Right? Wow. And I just think that a lot of people have talked about, I've heard Mike Dante and some others say, we need more people to score. No, we don't. We need our guys to score, period. I don't care who scores. right? I don't care who scores. I really don't. I don't care if it's O'Reilly. I don't care if it's Perron. I don't care if it's Tarasenko. I don't care if it's Kyrou. I don't care that Buchnevich hasn't scored. He's done other things. I don't care that Thomas hasn't scored. He's done other things. Let them keep doing those other things. Right? They put Kulikov and Dwyer. See, I just have a thing with names. I have a hard time with pronunciation. No. I love that commercial. I think it was a Geico commercial, right? The two guys playing the guitar and the ukulele or something like that. What's more than Dikembe Mutombo blocking a shot or something like that. Pressure too much for the Blues tonight. I don't think so. I don't think there's any pressure on the Blues at all tonight. To be honest, I don't think there's any pressure on the Blues at all tonight.
No, because I think the Blues aren't looking to lose, but I think the Blues know in their mind that if they were to lose and have a bad game, that they can beat Minnesota in Minnesota.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what today is?
No.
Today's an anniversary.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it the anniversary of when we won the Cup?
No. That was in June. That was late June, June 12th.
That's right, June something. Anniversary of one of the few years the Blues were in the Cup?
Nope.
I don't know.
Monday Night Miracle.
That's right. Yes.
The anniversary of the Monday Night Miracle, and let's Tammy got it. Right. By the way, I asked this question earlier of somebody, and they knew it right away. So the Blues are 14-2 in Game 6s when they have a 3-2 lead. What was the last game? What was the last series that they won with the 3-2 lead? And what was the last series they lost? Game 6 with a 3-2 lead.
Boston.
Is which one?
They lost Game 6 to Boston.
The 3-2 lead. That's correct. That's the one they lost. It's the last one they won.
Was it Dallas?
San Jose.
San Jose.
Right? And both Western Conference Finals?
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Cup Finals. The last two.
Mm-hmm.
The last two.
Yeah,
right?
Game 6.
It was the last two. It was Boston and San Jose, so they were back-to-back, right? Won San Jose, lost Boston. Yep. See, these guys are jumping on me, right? These guys are jumping on me. So, it's going to be fun, man. It is going to be fun.
Could be.
Right, guys, game is getting closer. We're crossing up on that 40 mark. We're going to go to 45 and then give you 5 minutes to take a potty break in that before it starts. Don't forget, check this show out on the intermissions and let people know about it. Come on, man. We're hitting the high 20s, mid 20s. Let's get that 50 mark during this show. Tell your friends all about the Blue Note Fan Report. Let's get that 50 mark. 50 people watching this show, right, today on one of these shows. And then we can shoot for 100 in the next round. All right, so let's get it out there. Come on, share the show. Let people know about it. Remember, Ashley's at the game, so she's cheering us on. She'll be our local reporter. We might be able to get her for a moment or two. We'll try. We'll send something out and see where she's at. I just can't wait. I just can't wait. Let's see. Where are we at? Anybody? Any last thoughts there, Lance?
Oh, I don't have a lot of last thoughts. I think that number one, we better see some pictures from the game from Ashley. Number two, I'm not worried about it. And like I said, if the Blues lose, I'm not going to be biting my fingernails and be worried about it, because I think on paper, like Guy and I both said, they're very even teams, but I think the Blues do edge them out. I think that's why it's 3-2, and it was 2-2. These are very even talented teams, but I think the Blues have the edge in goaltending, and I also think they have the edge in depth scoring over the Wild. And I think that's what's going to win them the game if they win the game today.
Yeah, Lance, you got to get some caffeine, bud.
Who's
Who's due for the Blues?
Who's due?
Shin.
I was saying Shin. Yeah, Shin.
Yeah, Shin. For me,
Yep.
Shin, and also I think Bennington for a shutout.
I would love to see Shin get going and stop worrying about hitting people.
Yeah, right. Robert Thomas, that's not a bad one either.
No.
Um,
I'd like to see Letty, who I'm not big on defensively, but I'll agree with everybody. He moves the puck very well. I would like to see him get a goal or two. That would help the Blues out immensely.
I'd like to see our defense get a goal. Our defense was we were like 6th or 7th in the league in defensive scoring, and we haven't had a defensive goal yet.
Yeah, and in the year we won the cup, weren't we the top 2, number 1 or 2?
Yeah, we were way up there. Yeah. Right. They're talking about Bennington playing the puck and how he plays the puck and talking about his hockey sense. That's the huge difference between him and Husso.
It's huge.
Right? And not only, you ever watch Husso, Husso gets behind the puck and he leaves it there. You watch, and they're showing Bennington his passes up to the blue line, right to the blue line, and then getting back in there. For me, that's the guy, that changes the complexion of the game. And it really has. The one thing, now someone had said that they didn't have any odd man rushes in the last game, and I remember 2 of them.
I remember 2 of them. There were 2 of them.
They've had odd man rushes. However, they haven't scored on any. With Husso, it was an odd man rush. It was an odd man rush. It was an odd man rush. Okay, Bennington had odd man rushes and didn't allow them. And that's the difference. You have to stop you have to make the stops you're not supposed to make.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds like almost like an oxymoron, but it's absolutely true.
Well,
you have to make the stops you're not supposed to make.
And I can tell you right now, just from watching Ville Husso, his NHL game, he's not confident enough against the speed of the NHL to play the puck the way Bennington does. Because I've watched him when he was with the Rampage, Husso. He was much better with the puck because the league ain't as fast overall. So he had more confidence. He comes to the NHL, and you learn very quickly that you don't have much time with that puck. Nope. And I just think he's not confident. When Bennington goes back, does he ever make a mistake? Yes, every goalie makes a mistake. But you can tell when he goes back, he's already looked at the ice around, and he knows what he wants to do with that puck. Husso doesn't know that yet.
There's one thing that I wish Benny would do, and I'm going to get toasted on this one. With all the issues he's had this season, right? I wish he'd change his number. And it's not as easy as it used to be, changing numbers. But I kind of feel like if he changed his number and went with one of those, like a Liute or a number like that of one of the classic goalies, that would I don't know, lift him up.
Yeah, and a lot of goalies are superstition. Like with me, when I played, I had 3 different numbers. 1 for Mike Liute, 31 for Grant Fuhr, and then in the late 90s, I wore 88, which everybody made fun of me. Now you got Andrei Vasilevsky wearing 88.
Yeah.
So, but some guys would like to do that, and as long as you submit your application, if somebody else has that number on the team, then you got to give them a little bit of money or ask them politely or something to get that number. But I've seen it done before. Goalies change your numbers. It doesn't happen a lot, but I have seen a few do it, and the ones I've seen do it, it's not hurt them in any way.
Yeah, no, I think just for me, you talk about change of scenery. Everyone says, well, a player needs to change the scenery. Sometimes the best change of scenery is your number.
Yeah. And one of my top 3 goalies of all time, my buddy and your buddy, Grant Fuhr, when he came in the league, a lot of people don't realize he wore number 1. He didn't wear 31. He wore number 1. And he changed. How'd that turn out for Grant Fuhr?
Pretty damn good. Okay, guys, game is almost on. Oh, by the way, Lance, I wanted to tell you this real quick, and I got to do it now because don't click off until until I play the little thing.
I'm clicking off my microphone, and for some reason, it's been shutting off my camera too.
No, I mean, okay, but so that's I'm asking to wait until that shows up.
That's fine.
Okay, guys, this is Guy the Wild Blues fan for Lance the Scott saying aloha mahalo. We'll see you at the intermission show. Let's go Blues! And you got to know we're bleeding blue with you.